Check it out on the go. One day after Broncos left tackle Russell Okung and cornerback Aqib Talib got into a shouting match following the 16-3 loss to the Patriots, Gary Kubiak said there's no division between the offense and the defense. The Super Bowl champions are sitting in 9th place in the AFC standings and need a lot of help in order to get into the playoffs. Stephen A., is the Broncos' future in jeopardy?
I believe it is. And the reason why I believe it is because of two reasons. Number one, they don't have a definitive quarterback of the future. And number two, I don't believe in Kubiak. I'm an individual that I will sit back and respect the fact that he deserves credit for not messing up a good thing. But I'm big on the process. What leads towards you getting that opportunity? And to me, he got the opportunity because of nepotism. He got the opportunity because of his relationship with John Elway. He did not get the opportunity because he was the best coach out there and was deserving of the opportunity in Denver based on the job that he did in Houston. He did not deserve it. So you end up with the job anyway, and oh, lo and behold, I have Peyton Manning, and I have Demaryius Thomas, and I have Emmanuel Sanders, and I have Malik Jackson, I have Danny Trevathan, and I just got a crew, Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr., I got T.J. Ward. I got the whole crew available to me. So I just got to go up in there and not mess it up. How did he not mess it up? By not getting in Peyton Manning's way when Peyton Manning didn't want to listen to him. So Peyton Manning decided, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Even though my physical abilities have diminished drastically, I still have this. I know how to control both line of scrimmage. I know how to manage a game to make sure that I don't allow the offense to beat ourselves, and that way the defense could take us to the promised land, okay? So we're not listening to Kubiak. We're going to do things this way. And I think that now that he's gone, and you've had to listen more to Kubiak. It's not that he can't coach. I'm not saying he's some scrub coach that never deserves an opportunity to be a head coach. I'm saying that that team, as constructed, what quality of a team was handed to him, he did nothing to deserve that other than being friends with John Elway and a former teammate. That's what happened, and now it's coming home to roost.
John Elway deserves the benefit of the doubt. What non-playoff team would you rather be a fan of than the Denver Broncos right now? The Denver Broncos are missing the biggest thing there is, which is a quarterback, if Paxton Lynch isn't the guy, right? But that is all they're missing. You look at the foundational pieces on that team, and look what John Elway did three seasons ago. Got to a Super Bowl on offense, no defense. Misses the play, it doesn't get back the next year. Gets back to the Super Bowl and wins with one of the greatest defenses of all time. The more you look into that defense, the more you realize it's comparable with the greatest defenses ever. And they beat a one-loss team to win that Super Bowl. And then, because he didn't want to be mired in cap problems, he let a mediocre or worse quarterback walk out the door, tried to make do with what he had because he values the franchise over this particular iteration of the team. And when you look at the Broncos now, they are missing a quarterback. That's the big thing to get, but that's all it is. And John Elway will find it, and when he does, they'll be right back in the big dance.
That is not all they're missing, and the cult of John Elway has grown to Kool-Aid level proportions. It's gone into myth-making area.
Delicious.
Here.
You should try some.
By the way, to answer your question directly, Molly, the future of the Denver Broncos is in jeopardy. Jeopardy meaning your future is at risk of being in harm or danger. The immediate future is clearly in jeopardy. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't know if you guys think.
I do not.
They're finishing with the Chiefs and the Raiders. The Dolphins have the Bills on their schedule.
On the road against the Chiefs.
So they're going to miss the playoffs.
They're out this year. In our estimation, we could be wrong, but that's our estimation now. And I think the long-term future is also in doubt. Max, it's not just the quarterback that is missing. By the way, clearly the quarterback is missing. And let's not pretend like John Elway made this enlightened decision to pass on Brock Osweiler. He offered the guy $16 million a year. He drafted the guy ahead of Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins. He tried to keep Brock Osweiler, and only when Houston came with the big money tree and shook it on Brock Osweiler's head, and Osweiler didn't give Elway a chance to match, did Elway look genius. At that point, he looks genius. This is when the myth starts building. Yes, they're missing a quarterback in the future, but you know what else they're missing? The other ingredient of long-term success.
A running back?
The offensive line.
Well, of course.
This is the 27th ranked offensive line by Pro Football Focus. Yeah. This is some of the worst offensive tackles in the NFL. Trevor Siemian is tied for third, or Broncos quarterback's tied for third and getting sacked the most. Good luck. By the way, take one of the best quarterbacks in my estimation, Tony Romo. Put him on the Broncos. He's going to be on his back.
Can't stay healthy anyway.
Well, it's a bad combination. The point is, who are you going to put in there with no offensive line?
But don't you see how Elway built the defense Like, we'll see. The irony of John Elway is he hasn't been able to find a quarterback. That's the irony. One of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Got Peyton Manning as a free agent, essentially, and that's the only quarterback he's had. That's really been the bane of their existence in recent years until they had Peyton Manning. But the offensive line, he rebuilt that defense from nothing to speak of to all-time great in 2 seasons. You think he can't put together an offensive line?
So now he's a faith healer. Now he's going to pull it out of nowhere.
But he did it with the defense. No, faith healer, no. It's not in the face of a lack of evidence. It is faith based in actual rational thought. He just did it on the other side of the ball.
I want to be clear. Why do you guys think they're in jeopardy? Just because of the lack of quarterback?
Well, no. It's about the quarterback. It's about the offensive line, and it's about Kubiak. I'm not a believer in Kubiak.
Okay.
It's not that I don't think he's god awful, like he deserves to be fired. They still won 8 games thus far. I'm simply saying that he was the beneficiary of what John Elway did. I don't view Kubiak as somebody that stepped in and did anything special. He's moved out of the way. He tried to get Peyton Manning to see his way at the beginning because he wants to run the football. He's reluctant to throw it. Obviously, Peyton Manning went against that. He did what he needed to do, and they ultimately ended up winning a Super Bowl in large part because of his game managing ability along with that defense. But in the end, Kubiak being up in there, to me, I think it's a factor because I don't think that he's that guy.
Do you mind, just because I don't like agreeing with him for this long? It's almost been 2 segments, and I got it.
Sure.
The problem with putting it on Kubiak, as you have said, he's the beneficiary of what Elway gave him in the past.
Sure.
But that same logic applies to where he is today. He's the victim of what Elway has not given him today.
Okay.
The offensive line and the quarterback. Elway chose, as I said, Brock Osweiler over Cousins and Wilson. He chose Lynch over Prescott. He has made bad decisions. And you don't, to Max's disappointment here, you do not build offensive lines overnight. The Cowboys took first-round draft picks for 3 years to create that offensive line. The Raiders took time to build their offensive line. You don't build this thing overnight, and if you're going to take away credit from Kubiak from a year ago, you got to take away from Elway now for the same reason.
But if you have 1 or 2 guys on the offensive line who can play, you sign a solid guard somewhere and you draft the guy, it doesn't usually happen, but it can happen in a year or 2.
Every team would be good.
I want to mention something quickly about the locker room, because that's what we're really talking about
here.
He
did generate his disagreement towards me.
Go ahead.
Let me deal with this. Let me
Please
deal with
respond.
this man.
I will wait till you're done, and
I'll
tell everyone what it's really going on.
Because Kubiak, you're telling me that the blame belongs to Elway instead of Kubiak. What was Kubiak in Houston? His last year, we lost like 11 straight. That's why he got fired from the Houston Texans. What I'm saying to you is that I'm looking at his resume. Yes, he went to the playoffs a couple of years. Yes, he had Matt Schaub as his quarterback. But there was things there in Houston that he underachieved that couldn't do. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at a body of work to say that he doesn't get to escape from some of the things that have transpired. When you got the team arguing inside the locker room with one another, butting heads, it's part and parcel. It comes with coaching as well.
Look,
go ahead, Max.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you.
Sure.
Didn't mean to interrupt your.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
No, now you come.
Your lovers quarrel.
When they come at me, no, you two had the lovers quarrel.
Max.
But go ahead. And I don't swirl.
The peg
but
for this
right.
news really is the divided locker room, right? I mean, that's what we're really talking about. Look, there's a civil war going on in Denver. The offense and the defense telling the offense, just shut up, you guys ain't doing anything, right? That's actually a healthy sign for this team. When you are the defending Super Bowl champions, and the Patriots, your major threat in the AFC to start the season, comes into your house and humiliates you, that team should be angry. They should be having it out with each other. I view that as a good, healthy culture in Denver, not as a reason for Denver fans to get upset.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine as well.